While it took some time for R&B singer Jaheim to make his debut on the music scene, when he did, he'd go right to the top. The thugged-out crooner, with a voice reminiscent of Luther Vandross and Teddy Pendergrass, went from living in the projects to having a platinum debut album about living in the projects. But after many years of consistent work, he faded from the spotlight, leaving his fans to wonder what happened. Jaheim Hoagland was born on May 26, 1978, in New Brunswick, New Jersey, and grew up in the 176 Memorial Parkway Homes public housing project. After his father died when he was 2, the family hit hard times and bounced around New York City and northern New Jersey as his mother struggled to support him and his 2 brothers. Throughout the ups and downs, Jaheim was guided by 2 potent principles: the love of his mother and his own love for music. He told Jet in 2002, "Singing was my way out. No matter how hard life got, I could always make myself and my mom feel better with a song. It was our salvation." Jaheim sang at every opportunity. This was no surprise to his family, which had already produced at least one professional singer, Victor Hoagland, Jaheim's grandfather, who had performed with well-known groups like the Drifters, and whose reunions were filled with voices raised in song. These gatherings, in fact, gave Jaheim his first taste of singing for an audience, and he found that he liked it. When, at 15 years old, Jaheim entered the famous talent shows at Harlem's Apollo Theater, he won 3 times. Sadly, his mother would pass away the following year from spinal meningitis, but the experience intensified his commitment to music. After his mother died, he launched his career as a singer to support his younger brother. After graduating from high school, Jaheim moved to Virginia, where he worked with Eric Williams of R&B group Blackstreet to cut a demo. Returning to New Jersey, he dropped off a copy of his demo to a Newark clothing store called Naughty Gear, owned by hip-hop trio Naughty by Nature. Even though he was in the midst of pursuing a career in music, Jaheim was still running the streets and getting into trouble with local police. He'd end up spending time in jail and receive a 5-year probation term on drug charges in New Jersey's Middlesex County in 1996. Then, after being in limbo for years, Jaheim was finally signed by Naughty by Nature's KG to his R&B-oriented record label, Divine Mill, in 2000. Fun fact, initially when KG called Jaheim in for an audition, he called on April 1st, and Jaheim, thinking it was an April Fool's Day prank, hung up on him. KG had actually first received the then 17-year-old's demo tape back in the mid-90s. After the two met though, they started working together right away. But then came R&B trio Next. KG signed the group and shifted all his attention to putting them on since they came in more developed. He ended up taking both Next and Jaheim to a showcase for Clive Davis at Arista Records. Clive also appreciated how much more polished Next was than Jaheim and decided to pass on him and go with Next. Jaheim was later picked up by Warner Brothers and released his debut album, Ghetto Love, in 2001. It's his musical autobiography, telling the story of his upbringing in the ghettos to his success as a man. The first single, Could It Be, became a hit, coming in at number 26 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 2 on the R&B songs chart. The other 2 singles, Just In Case and Anything featuring Next, also did well on the R&B songs chart, coming in at number 15 and number 6 respectively. Fun fact, Just In Case was originally a ballad and supposed to go on the debut album of one of KG's other proteges, R&B duo Coffee Brown, but he decided to give it to Jaheim instead. When asked about his musical influences, Jaheim told Essence in 2006, "My grandfather was my first musical inspiration. He would sing and I'd repeat after him, like a parrot. I loved that and I wanted to do it for him. I get a lot of inspiration from Luther Vandross when I sing. I'm from the church and it supported me, but I'm also from the ghetto, from the hood."
A little bit ghetto, a little bit hood.
His second album, Still Ghetto, was released in 2002. Several singles were released, with 2 of them becoming top 10 R&B hits, Fabulous, featuring R&B girl group The Rain, and Put That Woman First. A lag of several years followed before more music by Jaheim was released. Part of the reason for the slowdown could be attributed to his 2004 arrest in the parking lot of a Hillsborough convenience store. Police claim to have found multiple bags of marijuana in a car driven by one of his relatives and arrested him on an outstanding warrant, but he filed complaints of harassment and assault against the arresting officers. In the end, the conviction he did receive was reversed. At the time of his arrest, Jaheim was also charged with resisting arrest. The judge did uphold that charge and ordered him to engage in an anger management program and impose a sentence of 2 years probation. He also ordered Jaheim to write a letter of apology to Hillsborough police for the tirade he threw at the time of his arrest. Jaheim's next studio album, Ghetto Classics, dropped on Valentine's Day 2006. The lead single, Every Time I Think About Her, featuring rapper Jadakiss, propelled the album to the #1 spot on both R&B and pop album charts, making the project his best-selling album yet. The following year, he signed to Atlantic Records and released his 4th album, The Makings of a Man. The lead single, Never, went to number 12 on the R&B songs chart. Jaheim released Another Round in 2010. While by now his appearances on the pop chart were either non-existent or at the bottom, 2 singles from the project, Ain't Leavin' Without You and Finding My Way Back, both captured the number 12 position on the R&B songs chart. The album also garnered him his first Grammy Award nominations, 3 to be exact, for Best Male R&B Vocal Performance for Finding My Way Back, Best R&B Song for Finding My Way Back, and Best R&B Album. The very next month, Jaheim was arrested. He was pulled over near a golf course for allegedly traveling 65 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone, and was then charged with possession of marijuana in a motor vehicle. Hillsborough police reported that they could smell a strong odor of raw marijuana emanating from the vehicle. Jaheim gave them consent to search his vehicle after yelling at authorities. During the search, police allegedly noticed a small bud of marijuana underneath the driver's seat. They also observed several cigar wrappers, cigar shaving, and cigar paper. Jaheim was also charged with speeding. After losing his grandmother in 2011, Jaheim spent the next year or so with his family. He returned to the music industry in 2013 with his 6th album, Appreciation Day. In 2014, he restarted his own label called Julie's Dream Music Group after his mother, which had first been started in 1997, then restarted in 2002. His last album to date, Struggle Love, was released in 2016 on BMG Records. That same year, Selena Johnson did an interview with 24/7 Hip Hop in which she talked about some crazy experiences she's had in the studio. One of them involved Jaheim, and boy, was it dramatic. While she was in the process of working on her 2005 album, Chapter 3 The Flesh, Jaheim stopped by. After they chatted, he agreed to get on one of her songs called More. Well, anyone who's listened to the album will know that the song More is on there, but it features Anthony Hamilton, not Jaheim. Because Jaheim essentially lost his mind in the studio and nearly had a physical altercation with Selena over her wanting to take a copy of the song with her when she was leaving for the night, under the guise of fear of the material being stolen. After being off the radar for a couple of years, Jaheim resurfaced on social media. However, his gaunt appearance startled his fans. Upon inspection of his IG page, it appeared that his physical change could likely be attributed to him living a more holistic, vegan lifestyle. In 2019, an Instagram user by the name of Gordon Davis reached out to flyhigh.com that he got the surprise of his life when he called for an Uber to pick him up in front of his hotel in Atlanta and, allegedly, saw Jaheim behind the wheel. He claimed that Jaheim told him he was in town for a few days, visiting a relative, and ran out of money, so he decided to drive Uber in order to score enough cash to make it home. Apparently, the website reached out to Jaheim, and not only did he confirm his new gig, but he was also giving all his fans one free Uber ride with a promo code. Once the incident became public, though, Naughty by Nature's Vin Rock quickly came out to say the report was fake news. In the summer of 2020, Jaheim gave his fans another surprise by revealing his political leanings and advised others to set themselves free with the truth. His support for then-President Donald Trump was clear in a couple of now-deleted Instagram posts. "I'm used to the masses controlling these platforms. I'm used to you all throwing shade on me, called crackhead, Uber driver, etc. I can care less what you think of me because I have a real life. I am a force of the Most High Universal Creator. I just want to apologize to @RealDonaldTrump for all the misinformation. Since he's been in office, we the people have turned our backs on this great man who've been working effortlessly to restore the balance for the republic and didn't even take a paycheck. In September 2021, Jaheim was arrested on animal cruelty charges after police discovered 15 dogs living in deplorable conditions at his New Jersey home. Police went to his home to investigate a report of a puppy in distress and ended up finding 6 dogs in the driveway. One of the dogs was initially unresponsive in a water-filled crate and later had to be euthanized. Additional dogs were found inside of separate crates, which were partially filled with several inches of water and dog feces. Jaheim was placed under arrest outside the home even before cops found another disturbing scene on his property. While caring for the dogs outside, officers heard barking coming from inside the house and went there to find 9 more dogs in varying stages of emaciation and without access to food or water, according to the release. 2 of the dogs were taken to an emergency vet clinic for treatment because of their poor condition. All 14 surviving dogs were eventually taken to a local kennel. 12 of the dogs, including the one who died, were mixed-breed pit bull terriers. 2 were American Staffordshire Terriers, and 1 was a mixed-breed boxer. Jaheim's now charged with third-degree animal cruelty and failure to provide necessary care to an animal. He was booked into the Somerset County Jail pending a court hearing. Not much was heard from Jaheim until 2024, when it was announced that he was going on tour. He took to the stage in the Love Hard Tour, his first in 5 years, along with Keisha Cole, Trey Songz, and K. Michelle.